everything.
That's
Okay.
right. Not baking.
We're going to talk about conditional statements today. Everything we do today is about order of sentence structure. Okay?
Is this English class?
It is today. Okay? A conditional statement. A conditional statement has if and then. If and then. So if A happens, then B happens. Anything that is a conditional statement is in the form if then. If then. If this, then that. If this, then that. So if it is set up in the structure of if then, it is a conditional statement. Okay? Part A is what is known as the hypothesis. Part B is the conclusion. If this, then this happens. Okay? An example of a conditional statement is if M is even, then M plus 1 is odd. Okay? If M is even, then M plus 1 is odd. The hypothesis is if M is even. The conclusion is M plus 1 is odd. We're going to have to break things down. Are you happy, Abby?
Yes, Marvin kept hitting me.
I was so happy when Abby flicked me the
It is like science. So everything, like when you get assigned your homework tonight, I'm telling you, it's pretty much all sentence structures, okay? We might throw some equations in there, and if this, then this, but for the most part, it's all sentences, okay? So conditional statement, if this happens, then that happens. Hypothesis, conclusion. An if-then statement, that's what it's called.
That's science.
Clearly now.
That's what I just said. I can see clearly now the rain.
I'll give you about 30 more seconds, and then I'm moving to the next
I'm writing
slide.
it down, Abby.
Hey,
Galinda always sings,
be
okay?
nice.
I'm always nice.
Oh, are you talking about her?
Ha.
Okay, good. I thought you were talking to me.
It's a
I was like,
good joke.
I'm the mean one?
Sometimes.
Okay,
Just not to me.
here's the next slide, here we
That's
go.
so true.
Why you using her? You. Abby's made me bad.
For a conditional statement to be true, the statement must always be true, not just true sometimes. So if it is a conditional statement, in order for it to be true, it must always be true. Example, if it is a kitten, then it is a cat. That's always true, yes? So that conditional statement is true. If it flies, then it is a bird.
False.
That's false. Some flying animals are birds, but not all. So that conditional statement is false.
like flying monkeys.
Okay.
Monkeys?
If it's a carrot, then it's a vegetable. Is that a true statement?
Yes.
If it is a carrot, then it's a vegetable. Okay?
True.
That is a true conditional statement. Now, what if the conditional statement said if it's a vegetable, then it's a carrot?
False.
False.
True.
So do you see why order
If it's a
matters?
carrot, then
That's
it's
correct.
What?
Exactly. Thank you.
Is that a vegetable still?
What's a broad?
I'm trying.
Abby, I need you not to overthink things.
I heard
You know
that.
I'm telling you right now, the biggest downfall is when you guys read too much into stuff. Read what is there and answer true or false. Understood?
That's what I did last night.
Okay?
Oh, then this will be a brief.
Then it is a demon.
So do not read into things. I do not want you reading into things.
I always overthink.
Okay, next, let's talk about these. There are statements and they are then transferred into conditional statements. So you're gonna have to do this on your homework. They're going to give you just a statement, a sentence, and you have to write it as a conditional statement. So this says all mammals have warm blood. In order for it to be a conditional statement, it has to say if this, then that. So to change it, we would say if it is a mammal, then it has warm blood. If it is a mammal, then it has
What
warm
if it's
blood.
dead?
Okay? Parallel lines never intersect. We have to change that. If two lines are parallel, then they do not intersect. You're going to have to change statements into conditional statements. If, then, if, then, if, then. If, then. Conditional. Okay. Use the diagram to determine whether the statement is true or false, and then write the statement as a conditional statement. The figure is a triangle. Is that a true or false statement?
True.
True. How would you write that in a conditional statement?
If it is this figure, then it is a triangle.
If it has three
If it is a
vertexes,
triangle,
then
it has.
then it will be a triangle.
You're on to something.
If there are.
If it has three sides, it has
then it has.
180 degrees.
No. Where
If it
is
has
it?
three
Sides.
sides. If it's a
I was on
three-sided
track.
figure, then it is a
Time out.
triangle.
Time out.
Tweet.
Time out. You are looking at part A only. change it into an if-then statement.
If
If
it is
the
this
figure
figure, then
has-
it is a triangle.
No,
If
not-
the figure has 3 sides, then it is triangle.
Thank you,
just said
Margo.
that.
That's perfect.
I just said that,
Well, I can't hear you because you're saying if it's this thing, if it's that thing.
but I said it.
And all the
Yes,
other jumbled.
That is what you need to say. If a figure has 3 sides, then it is a triangle.
Oh, no.
Okay, part B, all of its angles are right angles. Is that a true or false statement?
False.
Okay, so we don't need to worry about that. Its angles sum to 180.
Yes.
Okay, now change that into if
If
then.
it is
If
a
it is a
triangle,
triangle,
then
then
the
the
angles out
angles
of
are
180.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
what if it like,
Okay, for true conditionals, if A is true, then B must be true. If A is false, then B may be true or false. Okay, so in conditional statements, you can either have true, true, or you can have false, true, or false, false. Okay? Negation, okay? Remember, that sounds like negative, right? Negation, it's the
Negation.
opposite of the statement, okay? Negation is the opposite of a conditional statement. So instead of if-then, instead of hypothesis, conclusion, it goes conclusion, hypothesis, okay? It's still written if this, then this. But it's not written if hypothesis, then conclusion. Instead, it's written if conclusion, then hypothesis. Does that make sense, what I'm saying right now? Okay? So they're switched. When you negate something, when something is the negation of a conditional statement, it is written conclusion, hypothesis. Okay? Types of statements. Conditional. If you are taking a nap, then you are sleeping. Okay? The converse, we flop that. If you are sleeping, then you are taking a nap. Okay? The converse. Your converse is the opposite, okay? Reversing the hypothesis and conclusion, okay? The inverse of something goes like this. If you are not taking a nap, then you are not sleeping. How does that compare to the conditional statement?
It's the opposite.
No, it's not.
What, be more specific.
Sorry.
Okay,
The
so
first part.
you're
It's
making,
switched.
Whose
What?
stuff is this?
Switched and opposite.
Whose stuff is that?
Sleepiness?
I don't know, but it's
no,
up here,
no,
it's
no,
in
no, no,
there.
no. If you are not sleeping, if you are not taking a nap, then you are not sleeping. It's just the opposite. If you are taking a nap, then you are sleeping.
right, you're going to put a not in front of whatever, or you're going to change it. If it did say not, you're gonna get rid of that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you are doing the inverse, you're just keeping the conditional, okay? You're keeping the way it's written conditional, so it's if hypothesis, then conclusion, but you're making it opposite of what it was. When you were doing the converse, you were switching the hypotheses and the conclusion, hypothesis. When you were doing negation of a hypothesis and conclusion, okay? That is called a contrapositive. If you are not sleeping, then you are not taking a nap. So it is flipped and negated.
Well, we need to know these terms.
Yes.
This is how you remember it. So converse is like, you just think of reverse. You have like the verse at the end.
Okay.
What about inverse?
I'm getting to it.
Okay.
Inverse, you have in, and that can sometimes be like a negated. So then you negate both of them. And then contrapositive is, I just remember it because it's the longest one.
It's the con.
Is this on
You-
Power
It's the
School?
longest one, so you have to do all the steps.
I don't know.
Can I see a picture of it?
Oh, me too?
Someone send it to me.
I don't have my phone.
I'm
Can
gonna
I
take
get
a picture
of
through
it
all my
and send it on
videos.
the group chat?
I
love this math class.
Yeah,
just someone send it on the group
It's
chat.
called geometry.
I mean, it's already being videotaped.
Yeah. Geometry sucks.
Oh, Henma,
No,
can you
it's
put
just
your
called-
head
I don't
back
think
a little?
geometry sucks. I
Yeah,
like
just send it
geometry.
to me.
I think
Geometry
we should just
sucks.
put it in
I
the
think I will.
We're using phones in class.
I'll send it.
Okay, so.
Oh yeah, see
Here
this?
we go.
Yeah, yeah.
There's another type. It is called a biconditional statement,
I see how it is.
okay? This one is so easy because it's the only one that's in this form. It's an if and only if. It's gonna say that in it. So a statement that can be written in the if and only if form is a biconditional statement. It's the only one like that, okay? A number is negative if and only if it is to the left of the origin on the number line. Okay? If and only if is in the center of it. When a conditional and its converse are true, when the conditional and the converse are true, then you can write a biconditional. So when the conditional and the converse are true, meaning the original if hypothesis, then conclusion is true. And then the converse, if conclusion, then hypothesis is true, then I can make an if and only if statement out of it. Because it's just true. What?
Wait, can you say it again?
Well, isn't that the same thing as just saying it is? Like,
Like,
can't you just say a number
Yes,
is
but
negative
Margot,
if it is so?
unfortunately, in geometry, that's not enough to say it is. You have to prove it.
Sorry, geometry.
I
I have a question, can you repeat everything you just said?
Yes, biconditional statements. They have to have the terms if and only if in them.
Yes, yes.
So, we can make a biconditional statement off of a conditional statement and a converse if both of those are true.
But will you get both of them at the same time and then they'll be like right about you?
Well, they'll give you a converse, or they'll give you a conditional statement, and they'll say, is that conditional statement true? If you say yes, then they'll say, make the converse of it. And then they'll say, is that true? And if you say yes, then they'll say, then make the biconditional of it.
We should be able to lift up
I'm
more
going
than
to
one
do
more and be able to
horrible on
climb up
this
and
quiz.
get
No, you're not.
So,
Okay, write the converse, inverse, contrapositive of the conditional statement. If you are a professional soccer player, then you are an athlete. Indicate which statements are true or false. So this is the conditional statement they give us. If you are a professional soccer player, then you are an athlete. Is that a true statement?
yeah.
Yes. What would be the converse of that?
If you are an athlete, then you are a professional soccer player.
Is that a true statement?
No.
No. Okay, what would be the inverse of that?
If you are not a professional soccer player, then you are not an athlete.
Is that true?
No. No.
No.
They're so
And what
smart.
would be the contrapositive
If
statement?
you are not an athlete, if you are not an athlete, then you are not a professional soccer player.
Good,
That's true.
that's true. Okay,
I was like, oh yeah.
so that's what your homework's gonna look like. You're literally rewriting sentences like that all night.
I'm not even doing math.
Okay, here we go. Write the converse, inverse, contrapositive of the conditional statement. If a polygon has three sides, then it is a triangle. Indicate which statements are true or false. So is the original statement true? If a polygon has three sides, then it's a triangle?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now write the converse.
If it is a triangle, then a polygon has three sides.
Is that a true statement?
Yes.
Good. Now write the contrapositive.
If it is not a
If it is
triangle,
not a
then it's
polygon.
not a polygon with three sides.
The polygon doesn't.
If it's not a triangle, then it's not a polygon.
That's what I just
Good. Now write the inverse. I'm switching the order on you to see if you're doing it.
And write the inverse.
If it
If it is not a polygon with three sides, it's not a triangle.
Good. And what would the biconditional be off of?
if
And only if it's a polygon with
No.
three sides.
If a polygon has three sides,
sides.
and only if.
A polygon?
With three
polygon
sides.
has three sides.
Stop. Nope. Stop. When you're using if and only if, it's in the middle of your sentence. You don't start with it, you don't start with the word if, you don't start with it, then, you don't have any of that on there. So you're taking,
What figure is a triangle if and
only
if a polygon has three sides?
No,
that can work. That can work.
Or a
You could
polygon.
also say, a polygon has three sides if and only if it's a triangle.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's how you've got to phrase biconditionals. Got it?
Gotcha.
Okay? And that is all. So your homework is on page 128. And you are doing 1 through 35 on. It's pretty
I can
much
stop it
all
now,
sentence
right?
structures. You can start.
Wait, so you're